Hello everyone from Nagoya, Japan. So Nagoya is a city between Tokyo and Kyoto, the two most famous cities in Japan maybe. And even though Nagoya is one of the biggest cities in Japan, it's not like the biggest tourist destination. But maybe you know it for Toyota, which is located in the suburbs of Nagoya in a city called Toyota. There we go. Okay, today's video is a really good practice routine. I've shared this routine with you before in a video that went kind of viral. Forgot when I made this, but I want to zone in on something very, very specific. And you have to forgive me for this kind of weird setting, this weird angle, because Japanese hotel rooms are very, very small. Like it's very narrow. So just bear with me. Come on, this is free content. Come on, guys. But man, like, subscribe, makes such a huge difference. This is one of my sources of income. If you want me to make more videos, you gotta like, subscribe, comment. I know many of my friends want me to fail by not liking or commenting, but those of you who want me to succeed, thank you so much. It really does make a difference. It's just a click of a button. It'll make a difference. Okay, so the practice routine is thus. I've mentioned the importance of learning the chords to songs and the melodies to songs. Now, as a beginner, it might be too advanced for you to do this, but what you can do is, of course, memorize the chords to a song, and then learn the melody to a song. And when you learn the melody as a beginner, you learn a set of fingerings that you commit to memory, muscle memory, that you can play without fail. So if it's going to be blue bossa, it can be something like that. But as you get advanced, what's going to be very important is that you can justify each note of the melody that you're playing. Justified, that means you understand how it relates to the chord. So you know that this starts on the pickup. See? Now you can make all these MIDI chords. And I do have a book on Amazon, like mapping the fretboard, visualizing the fingerboard. I don't know what the publisher titled it, but you'll find it in the description box, my book. It's a very good book. It describes this process. It's very, very important if you want to get to the upper intermediate advanced level. Super important. And it gets to a point where you're no longer relying on muscle memory, but on a complete understanding of the fingerboard. Not only do you understand the fingerboard, but you connect it to your body, your ears. In order to do that, it can be good to commit a lot of things to memory in the beginning. But as you do that, you'll have to do less of that, and you can be more in the moment. So instead of playing, sometimes, I use a different finger. Anywhere, so it's all, and you can have access to all these chords. Or here. Right? Etc. So that's, it's going to take a while if you're a beginner. In the beginning, just memorize one fingering. And once you've memorized that one finger, maybe memorize another fingering, maybe a different octave. out of tune. Again, being able to justify everything. But as a beginner, I'm repeating myself like a parent because it's very important. I want to drive this point through. In the beginning, if it's too much for you to do this, just memorize the fingering. That's good enough. Memorize the fingering, but know on which beats they start. At least know that this note should fall on beat 1 of this chord. So for example, this. You should know that's beat 1. Okay? You should know that lands here. Then next one would be what? So which chord would that be? That would be... Oh, so beautifully out of tune. I can't do anything. There's something wrong with the G string. I know it's very daunting in the beginning, but if you do this, the more songs you learn, the easier it gets. And after having done a lot of prep work, muscle memory stuff, at one point you're able to do this on the spot because you're just so familiar with the fingerboard, and also you hear these things. Learning melodies is so good because it connects you, of course, obviously, to the melody, to more melodic sensibilities, as opposed to just playing like long licks, which are cool as well. All that is, of course, very, very cool, but sometimes just playing something like this, just like that, is beautiful. Right? Touches the heart. That's all you want to do, is touch the heart. Make sure you get consent. Okay, but this is not what the video is about. What this is the last 8 bars of many songs. Not all songs. Last 8 bars or last 4 bars, depending on the song, is a lifesaver. This is something that you can turn into a practice routine. Go through the list of songs you know and just practice the last 8 bars as a solo guitar player, because you can use these for intros. For example, All of Me. Right? You can find another way. And what's cool about this is if you check out my book and you understand a little, if you learn different songs, you're going to see that this chord progression happens in a bunch of other songs. Some of These Days, I Can't Get Them But Love, My Melancholy Baby, Stardust, but the chord progressions might be variations, might not be exactly the same. And then you can be inspired by different chord possibilities to see what fits the melody. So I did this F to F minor, but what if I did F to F sharp diminished to E minor, and some C, A7, D7, or I take the original melody, which is F minor, the and you can do it in different octaves. See, new chords. Take another song like Out of Nowhere. We can just take the last 4 bars as well. Whoops. What did I do? This works too. It was an accident. I meant to do this, but I did E7. It works. See? Experimentation. It's not just for college. I gotta be quiet. I think the neighbors can hear me. The walls are very thin in Japan. That's how the construction works here. So many songs. Tangerine. You guys know that one? It's a really nice standard. Jim Hall did a nice version. My Melancholy Baby. You do it in different octaves, Hey, sorry. I'm doing this on the spot. Very nice song. Dizzy Gillespie recorded that. Okay. What else? So many songs. I'll close my eyes. You guys know that one? Oh man, it's so bad, the tuning. I need to get this fixed somehow. It's the G string. The starting from the 5th fret, it gets progressively sharper. Just the G string, and it just affects everything else. So yeah. So you see, here it's more or less in tune. But as I get here, terrible. So practice it out of time and in time, because some intros can be nice out of time, rubato, but eventually you do have to be in time to give the tempo. So it can be like, something like that. There will never be another you. Last 4 bars, last 8 bars, so very useful. Do this in different octaves, potentially even different keys, because sometimes you might have to work with singers. If you're playing, Fly Me to the Moon, which is a very popular singing song. In other words, please be true. Etc. So that was in the key of C. But what if you had to do it in the key of G? So then you have, after time, this is not something I would consider doing as a beginner right away. This is more the intermediate stages. Once you start to have an understanding of how the music works, well, you realize in the key of C, it started on the root of the 2 chord. And then the rest I did by. But in the key of A, they find the root of the 2 chord, which is A. That's key of G, sorry, A minor. Sorry. There we go. So I'm just doing this by ear, by instinct. It's not a complicated song either. We're not talking about Donna Lee or anything like that. So this is such a good practice session because it's going to train your mind. As I said last week, you'll have to treat learning improvisation as if you were learning a language. And it's all about training the mind. Of course, from a musician perspective, you have to train your fingers as well. But the mind thing is a very difficult thing to train. It's not necessarily something that beginners should do right away. At least they should do it in small steps. But once you've reached the intermediate level and you want to get to the next step, this is the one training you have to do a lot of. Not to rely too much on your theoretical knowledge, your knowledge of scales and arpeggios, but to really control exactly what you want to play by ear, by instinct. Learning songs. It's something, whether you're a beginner or an advanced musician, you can always be learning songs or reviewing the same songs. At the beginner stage, just learning the chords and the melody is good enough. At the advanced level, you try to manipulate the crap out of songs, see how much you can transform it to come up with new harmonies, new ideas, playing in different areas. Sometimes, I have fun. Like if I take All of Me, instead of playing, I'll do. This is difficult. I do that for fun, you know. Sometimes I try to do with harmonics. Ah. There we go. It's so much fun. Now, training the mind. Good luck.